You might have placed 0-day SPX iron condors in the past, and an hour later you're up 50 bucks. And then you're thinking, hey, why don't I hold on to this thing for a little bit longer, squeeze out a little more profit, right? And then you get to lunchtime, you're up only $20. You're saying, hey, it'll come back. It's okay. We got theta decay kicking in, only to see that thing turn into a loss shortly after. And now you're wondering, what do I do in this case? Sound familiar? Well, the thing is that you didn't have the appropriate profit target in place. And that's where a lot of people fall into a victim of shorter term trading, or iron condors in general, or many trades for that matter, is because you don't have a specific set profit rule that you're willing to hit and take. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some insights on what should be your initial profit take when it comes to trading SPX, 0-day iron condors. And of course, you'll be able to apply some of these things for other trades as well. Now, most traders think when they go into 0-day iron condor trades that their entry was bad. Hey, if I've only placed it a little bit higher, or if I've only placed the iron condor a little bit lower because now the market's drifting in one direction or another. But it's not that your entry is bad. In fact, the entry is one of the easiest things. It's more in line where people don't have a profit target or the appropriate exit, because it's the exit where trades are won or lost. You could go into a trade and say, hey, I go in and buy shares at $50, but if I exit at 49, I've taken a loss. But if I exit at 51, I'll be at a win. So the thing is it's the exit where things are won or lost. And many people don't know when to exit when it comes to those trades. So even if your setup is wonky, it's the exit that's really much more important. Because you see, what happens in real time is you're watching the profit and loss, you're watching these ticks, and you're watching positions move, and you can't make clear-minded decisions. You start getting more emotional, tied into this whole trade, and then the exit falls apart. So it's really important you have these exit rules in place, or guidelines, that you can make quick and instant decisions when the time comes. Now, I've been in the markets for over 20 years and coaching for quite a long time, and I've seen all kinds of traders make these types of mistakes. For example, they go into a trade and they're holding on to a trade and they win maybe on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday. But come Friday, they lose all of their winnings for that week and then some. And it happens consistently time and time again. Whether I've had 2 good months and I just gave it up. I gave up 3 months worth of gains. I've had a good year and I gave up a whole year's worth of gains. Happens time and time again when people are doing trades, simply because they don't have clear-cut rules, guidelines in place for profit taking, or they take too long to take their profits. They hold on, they wait, they think it's going to come back. Market conditions should change. The market is stretched a little too far this way or that way. Whatever the reasoning and rationale is there, all kinds of excuses come up and biases come forward. And that's the issue. That's what happens. Rather than having a direct, clean line where you can say, hey, I'm going to take profit targets at this point. So this way, or losses at this level and this zone. So I'm going to share with you some of my insights and the way I would approach it when it comes to trading 0-day iron condors, and the way you stretch yourself as you move forward into understanding where do you take these profits. All right, so now the question becomes what profit target should I take? And that's going to be a little bit of a growth step here, but I'll explain to you how I might approach it as I'm going in and maybe coaching somebody. So the way you might approach it is first understand, well, what's your actual, first off, slippage, the cost, the commissions, and all of those things. What do you actually need to make to turn a profit? So for an iron condor, it is actually a beast. It is a 4-legged beast. And when you have this 4-legged beast, you're going to pay about $1 a contract for the iron condor. So we're going to just take a look at those 4 legs, and you're going to pay $1 a contract on each zone. Now, you might get free commission trades, but you still have CBOE clearing fees, or you also have kind of the slippage that happens when it comes to discount brokers, because then they won't fill you in as good of a rate. So the point is, you're paying about $4 to put on the trade and about $4 to exit. So you're already taking $8 of a cut just to get in and out of the trade. So if you even shoot for a $10 profit, you're only going to make $2, and then you still have taxes and all these other things that go along with it and your personal work. So I would say if you're actually aiming for something, your expenses over here are $8, but what you'll want to aim for is the goal of about $20 in order for you to kind of make $12 on the trade. Now, you might say that's not a lot. It's true. On a 1 contract basis, you're not aiming for a lot at the beginning. You're just aiming to making sure you can get filled well and execute the trade and get out. Can you rotate and create a clean profit target time and time again? And that's what you're aiming for, is a minimum of about $20 if you're trading on the SPX. Now, if you're trading a different vehicle, like a ticker, you don't have those extra CBOE clearing fees and that kind of thing, in which case you could aim for a little bit less. But your objective at this beginning stage is learn how to clear and rotate the trade time and time again. So if you can do it and you can aim for $20, now you'll be left with a $12 profit. Again, looking at one contract, if you scale it up, obviously it's going to be a little bit more. All right, so now that you're able to rotate these $20 rotations, what do? Well, what happens is that you're actually stretching yourself in a similar way that a gymnastics or a gymnast stretches in order to become more flexible. What we're doing here is the same thing, is once you're able to rotate at, let's say, a $20 profit, because this T+0 line continues to kind of grow or accelerate and get a little closer to your profit golden zone. What you're trying to do is stretch yourself. So, okay, so you do the $20 periodically and you start doing $20 and $20. And if you can do that consistently, that's all great. But then slowly with time, you might say, okay, well, I'll still doing my $20, but then periodically you aim for 25 or 30. Okay. And that slowly adds in some additional profits on those cycles and on those rotations. Then when you go in and you say, okay, well, I'm consistent with 25 and consistent with 30, then you start going more with 30 and 30 and 30 rotations, and maybe periodically aim for $35 or $40. And that allows you to stretch your profitability or profit zones in different cycles in different areas, allowing you to kind of grow your profit take. Now, you're not going to do that all the time, but you're going to find a sweet spot. At a certain point with this balance effect, you're going to see where if you stretch your profit target, there's this calibration that's going to happen where if you aim for more profit, okay, if you're aiming for more profit versus you're looking for a fast rotation, okay, you're going to go in and have some troubles and losing trades, because if you aim for more profit, there's going to be more losses that come up. Whereas if you aim for faster rotations, you'll have less losses in those trades. So you always have to be careful with a one-off kind of trade. The same thing where if you are starting to create a loss, where do you get out? But you're going to see where you are consistent. So if you're constantly going in and making, let's say, an average of $30 per trade, then you probably don't want to lose more than, let's say, $60, because you'll have enough cycles and repetitions where you're winning, and then your loss, maybe you don't want to lose more than 60. On the other hand, if you're doing a profit take of only $20, you might not want to lose maybe more than, let's say, $40. And you can, of course, determine that based on the math and the cycles of that you're winning, and then when the loss comes, how much, how many wins you're going to have until that loss comes. So the more rounds and cycles that you do, you'll be able to calculate these figures based on your style, your strategy, your method of management. But the point here is that to know and understand how far can you stretch it, one. And the second thing is once you stretch it, how many times are you winning until you get the loss? That way you can make sure you reduce the amount on your loss to be able to pay off all of these things. Because if you're winning only 20 and then you lose 400, it's going to take a ton of wins to making that up. And it's why it's important to understand these calculations. So this way you can stretch your profitability potential, but also understand the number of wins you're having in a series or set. So this way you can reduce the loss amount for your stop, or when the heck you would get out for taking that loss. Now we could take a look at two traders, and let's say trader one over here versus trader two. We've got one person that goes in and says, okay, well, I'm going to aim for my $20 profit take. This trader goes in at 9:30 a.m., places his trade, and by 11 a.m. closes out, makes his $20, and now you got a little more free time. You go enjoy your life, and tomorrow you put on another 0-day SPX trade and keep chugging along. Trader two, on the other hand, sees that same profit take, okay, $20, but decides to hold out a little bit longer. Okay, now the market starts moving up. It says, oh, I see 30. Great, that looks amazing. But then a little bit later, it starts to roll over and you're back down to zero, and even in some cases minus $50, where you might be managing the trade. Now, yes, you could overlay and, let's say, layer more iron condors to try to make up the trade, but it's a lot more work, and you have to then work all the way till maybe close or close to the close in order to even come out for a profit. And the point is, this takes a lot of time and also mental energy that many people don't even think about or consider. And you might even get back out with a very similar profit as trader one. So the thing is that many people don't value the time or the mental energy that's involved in here. But as you can see, it can definitely create a little bit more of a problem if you go in and try to aim for a larger profit take or target. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't, push yourself and aim for a little bit more, but 0-day trades, they behave and act kind of radioactive when you think about it. They're very quick and it's like high octane trades. So you need to be more very careful about your profit targets and also about your exit points. Now, that also happens again with longer day trades. They just, you have a much longer time frame and window when it comes to that. So think about these scenarios and situations that, hey, do you want to be the one that just keeps layering trades on all day long and so forth? Or do you want to be the one that, hey, I take a quick exit, I move on, and then you have maybe the rest of the day more free? Or you could layer more safer trades like a 2 DTE or a 5 DTE or even a 20 DTE. And that's the thing to consider when it comes into these types of profit takes or profit targets. Because if you define it, you already know what you're aiming for. It's predetermined. You're getting in, you're getting out, and you're moving on with the rest of your day. Now, if you're more serious about 0 DTE options trading, you may want to check out our latest class that we did, the 0 DTE playbook. Covers a lot of different strategies for shorter term trading and 0 DTE specifically, about the things you may want to watch out for, some of the problems behind them, and how to alleviate some of those things as far as strategies go and how to tweak some of those positions to making them work for shorter term trading. Now, you can check that out at optionsblackbelt.com, and you can see a lot of other classes that we do there. Now, the reality is most people going into tomorrow and looking to put on their next trade are not going to take a moment and breather to say, hey, let me plan out my profit targets. Let me plan out my exit rules. And how do I stretch myself in terms of profit taking? They'll go in doing the same thing that they always do. They say, hey, I'll figure it out, or I'm watching my indicators. They're not going to look at managing the positions. And that's usually what happens. But if you're more serious, if you're more dedicated and you want to really learn the operation and the business behind it, then I highly suggest you take a moment to plan these things out, figure out the process for yourself. That way you're more prepared when you go into the trading day. And that might mean take a day off or two to map things out for yourself. So this way you go in with a clear-minded plan moving forward. In either case, we're going to cover a lot more strategies, concepts, and these types of tips in the channel and on future videos. So stay tuned, subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next one.